Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share with you this quick and simple card made with the Nuts About Squirrels Stamp set. This card is part of my Step It Up series, so I hope you'll check out all 3 cards that were inspired by our mini catalog. Let me set this aside and I'll show you how I got started. Stamping is the focus of this card since it's a clean and simple card, and we're going to start with the stamping. So I am going to start with this little branch image here. I'm going to ink it up with the Early Espresso, and I'm going to stamp it here on the left-hand side. Next, I'm going to stamp the sentiment here, and this says, "Hope you're feeling bright-eyed and bushy-tailed." I'm going to stamp that right below the branch. And then I'm going to bring in my line images. I'm first going to use my line image here for the squirrel that's going to go on this branch. And let me move this down a little bit because this is lining it up with the branch, and I want to do this correctly. It might take a little practice because his little feet go on the front of the branch here on the curve, and his back go on the back. So let's see if I can get that here with the camera. There we go. And then the next line image I'm going to do is this little squirrel holding the nut. And I'm going to pop him right down here in the corner. These are 2-step images, so you might find that the Stamparatus works best for you. I'm going to next do the acorn, so I'm going to bring in the little cap and the acorn itself, and I am going to stamp these off first to give me a lighter shade. So first I'm going to ink up the acorn and stamp, and then I'm going to ink up the cap using the espresso, stamp off and stamp. There we go. Now for the bodies of the squirrels, we've got these great solid images that coordinate with the squirrel's outlines. And I'm going to move this down again so that I can line it up a little easier. I'm going to use the acorn squirrel first, and I'm going to ink that up in the Sahara sand. And I'm going to do this full strength because I want him to be nice and bold. There we go. And then I'm going to do the squirrel on the branch, and I'm going to be using pumpkin pie for this. And I'm going to slide him down again so I can line him up. I hope you can see this. Need to make sure I've got the whole stamp covered nicely. And let's see. You're going to need to line up his feet and his ears with this. So those are the areas that you might want to focus on to make things easier. So there we go. I've got the basic stamping done for this card, and I'm going to set this aside and bring in the inside panel. I love to decorate the inside panel to give it a little bit of whimsy, and so I am going to use this little leaf here to do this. I'm going to ink it up in the pumpkin pie, and I am going to stamp first full strength, and then I am going to turn it and manipulate that stamp so that it has a little bit of whimsy to it, and stamp down the rest of the card. There we go. Now I've left enough room for my sentiment and my signature, of course, but that gives me a little pop of color. And we're going to assemble now. This is nice and quick since it's a simple project, clean and simple. I'm going to just set this inside my card because I want to have the flexibility to stamp and write on it without it being attached. And then this stamped image I am going to simply place onto the front of my card. Now you could use some dimensionals for this just to pop it up and give it a shadow effect, but since this is clean and simple, I'm going to adhere it right here in the center of my card. That's it. It's that quick and simple. This card was made using the Nuts About Squirrels Stamp set that you can find in our mini catalog, and I think you're really going to enjoy using it. This Step It Up series was taken right out of the mini catalog. You'll find it on the same page as the Nuts About Squirrels Stamp set. And I hope you'll take a look at all 3 cards in my Step It Up series. If you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.